back to the podcast called Tell the World. How you guys doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing great. How's your Thursday going? This week is almost over week. Man, this week has went by real fast. It looked like I saw the first frostbite outside. It was kind of chilly, like high, 52, so that was chilly today. So I had my hoodie on, so that came out handy for me having that. So um, fall is definitely here, guys. And is it fall in your city? Is it getting chilly yet? When we have the weather changes and we lose the summer, we start to go into that fall season, and you start to put on your light jackets, so you could stay a little warm because the weather changes, so you have to change your wardrobe up and stuff, and some people get cold real fast. I like heat, I really do, but I could take a little high 52. It wasn't too bad this morning. It was, I was able to put my hoodie on and just, feel good. So it's always cool to have a nice hoodie, right? Have a nice hoodie. As a matter of fact, speaking of hoodies, I got some Einstein Tell the World podcast hoodies. They will be in the shop, which is called the Tell the World podcast apparel, and that would be on my Etsy store. It's called Tell the World Podcast Apparel, and grab a hoodie. I got a nice hoodie. Matter of fact, we just put up a new hoodie, and that's the pink one with me and Einstein. Real dope. The color effect, the pink is just fire. Go check that one out. Now, today's subject today will be called I want to be happy, right? I want to be happy. That's the subject right there. A lot of us have said that many times. Sometimes we're feeling a certain kind of way and we feel like, we're not happy, right? But what is not feeling happy? What is not being happy? Does having money make you happy, right? Do things make you happy? I've had both sides of those feelings, right? Of being happy and, throughout my years, I learned that things, I know some of us know this, but for the ones that don't, I'm talking to them. But I found myself having things, but there was always a void inside me, right? There's always a void inside of us, right? There's always something that doesn't recognize itself as happy, right? It's something in the core of us all, right? Is it the heart? Is it the heart? Is it the mindset, right? Is it your mindset of not being happy, right? Because I've found myself within moments of doing things that make me happy, right? That's a start, right? That's a great start, right? And that's what this episode is going to be about. I want to be happy. And this is all personal for everybody, right? For all my viewers out there, this is all personal, right? It's everything that's what's inside you, right? Defining your happiness. And what does happiness really, really, really mean to you, right? Because it's everybody's happiness is different, right? Sometimes we miss pieces of parts of us that define us to have that definition or that fulfillment of happy, right? A lot of people can find happiness in what putting a puzzle together, right? Some people want to just be happy by themselves and drink their coffee, right? That's a piece of a special happiness that you could have for yourself, and those little things of happiness, right? That you do, those small things that get you started with happiness. I read one time Einstein, some of his notes. He said a calm and modest life brings more happiness than the pursuit of success and combine the constant relentless. Now look, I remember the movie called The Pursuit of Happiness, and I know it was a great movie by Will Smith, and he was, he had a lot of setbacks and these roadblocks stopping him, but he was pursuing a career. He was trying to pursue that one shot in life to get him on track. And I like that movie because that's definitely the pursuit of happiness is you chasing a dream and you finally get on your feet and you just soar in life. So if, right? So if you can have happiness by something you pursue then and you continue that happiness that keeps you happy, that's cool, right? A career could be happiness, right? Right? But sometimes for some people, they get all of that, right? They get it all. They get it all. But somewhere in life, they're still saying they're not happy, right? Because that probably wasn't what their heart really desired. Sometimes your heart can desire the wrong things, right? And when it comes to your mindset, you have to shift yourself and sometimes choosing gratitude, right? Because happiness is a buildup, right? It's every little piece of you, these elements of you, right? These cells in you. What? You laugh, right? A joke. You have humor inside you, right? A joke can make you bust out and laugh, right? That's definitely happiness. And that's definitely a start to gratitude. Taking a little something, right? To make you happy. And that sometimes give you peace and it's a start to purpose over chaos, right? Definitely happiness over chaos, right? And these habits sometimes that we have to do sometimes, they can be small actions like when you wake up in the morning time. Yeah, morning time may suck for some of those out there, but some of us it doesn't suck because for me, I always thank my Creator for myself waking up, right? And those be my affirmations, to no matter what, still be happy, no matter what, still be peaceful, no matter what, just keep moving, and that helps people, right? That's a start to creating happiness. You have to call those affirmations out, like I'm gonna have a good day today. Oh, I know what's out there waiting for me, but I'm gonna change that and go another avenue in life so I don't have to run into those situations that stop me from having my moment of happiness because it is a choice, it is a mindset, and you got to understand, y'all, that happiness is never, it's not given. Happiness is created, right? Imagine sadness, right? Imagine how you feel sometimes, and that can put you into a mood. I myself personally, right? I can put myself into a mood swing where I'm in solitude. And solitude, I put myself there to understand what I'm going through and I'm just elevating my highest, trying to figure this out. It could be a problem, could be a situation, and what I'm doing is I'm in solitude, but I'm also in prayers, and I spoke about this before. I'm in God mode at that moment where I'm trying to come with a resolution. I'm dealing with this other part of me that wants to conquer my thoughts, right? Conquer my mood swing, right? I gotta get this on hold. I gotta get this other part of me that messes up happiness, that makes me feel probably some kind of way. What? Sad? What? Just not in a good mood. And that's how you have to do sometimes. You have to put yourself in solitude to save yourself and put yourself in a God mode and quiet and peace so you can sort out what you're trying to understand. And most of the time, it be the same stuff that you're trying to understand. And as you grow up in life, you learn how to deal with things better. You know, whether someone taking shots at you, you could probably just say, you know what, it bounced off me. It doesn't affect me anymore because now you're elevating within your mood swing. You're elevating within yourself to how to deal with things. Now, this has no penetration with your happiness, right? Because you don't have time to choose words. What? Choose words over your happiness, right? I take the smallest parts of happiness of myself. And there's some things that I'm happy about that I choose not to share. Why? Why I don't choose to share? Because I figure that if I show this and show that, someone's gonna try to take that away from me. You never know what's out here. So this is how you protect yourself. You're not being overprotected, but you're there's a shirt actually on Tell the World podcast apparel. It's called Access Denied, right? Where you don't allow nothing to mess up your mood, right? You got in life, you gotta have boundaries with yourself where you don't let happiness be destroyed. You just can't allow that to be destroyed within yourself. As you get older, you work hard. You work hard to have a beautiful mindset, a beautiful mindset of yourself and how far you have came in life, right? How far you have came. Um, so look, I'm a shoe fanatic, right? I love shoes, right? I love shoes and hats, right? And sometimes I look at those things like, man, what if I just pass away? What would those shoes and hats mean? Nothing, right? So you start, as you get older, you start to realize, what happiness is not. What happiness is not sometimes. It's just a process and it's a mindset too. It's a process to get to the mindset. That's right. That's what it is. It's a process to get to your right mindset of yourself. That's important, right? Think of yourself as a God. What you're creating, right? You are creating within your heaven, your surrounding around you. You are creating an atmosphere, right? You're creating an atmosphere of just trying to just, the smallest things count, right? Keep that happiness there, right? Yes, we understand that things are gonna happen, right? But should that corrupt your happiness? No. Never let that stop you. I remember, you remember the Smurfs, and you remember all the personalities of the Smurf: Brainy Smurf, Jokey Smurf, Angry Smurf, all Jokey Smurf, all of those Smurfs, and you see all the different moves. Even Grumpy Smurf found a moment to smile. Then he went back to Grumpy. But that counts, right? That counts for yourself because you're giving yourself hope, right? You're giving yourself a chance. And you're building a mindset, right? You're building a strong mindset about what it really means to be happy for you, right? You're defining yourself, defining your happiness. Sometimes it's a covenant of yourself where only you understand yourself and you supposed to understand yourself is real important. I was talking to a customer early, and it really made me feel good. It actually got my attention, and sometimes you do go through things in life, and the outcome of how you came out of this and came out of that and how it defines you. And I was trying to understand, I already knew the guidance of how I'm speaking, but I wanted to understand the breakthrough, your breakthrough to get there to, find yourself, and you keep that pursuit of yourself, right? Where you can keep going. And it's real important to do that, right? Because we all deserve that chance. I learned in life that the smallest things in life make me happy. It really does. And when I see it through people, and I hear the stories, because I have a lot of conversations, and this is what this podcast is about: great conversation and motivation to others out there. To we're trying to figure this life out, right? We're trying to figure it out. We all go through things, right? But it's real important for you to be strong for yourself, right? And trust me, it's important. The mindset is so important. It's very important. And I'll say it again. Most people, they chase happiness through money, material things, and other people approvals, right? Other people's approval. The truth is, y'all, your mindset decides how you interpret life, right? Your life. Because a positive mindset turns small wins into joy. A negative mindset turns big blessings into complaints, right? You got everything, but all of a sudden you find some reason to complain. That's not going to keep your happiness there. That's going to kind of like knock it down. And you don't want to do that to yourself, right? But, your mindset and shapes your choices, right? When you believe in happiness possible, your natural make you're naturally trying to make better choices, right? You naturally make better choices when you're happy. Let's not say try, but you're naturally making better choices when you're happy, right? When you not happy, you kind of like stumble and make some bad decisions that lead to bad choices, right? That leads to mistakes, right? And who you surround yourself with, that's another thing, a big factor too, that kind of like sees your happiness, the vibration around you, and definitely how you treat yourself and how you face challenges. Like a lot of challenges I've faced, I still didn't let it define my character of myself. I remember my mom said one time, and I was young because I caught it what she said. She said, no matter what I go through, she said, I still find a way to joke and still, whatever. Because maybe she was thinking this here, and maybe I just had that place with myself where I could still, still be joyful and jokeful with myself to still joke about no matter what I'm going through. I still had jokes to just see other folks laugh, and that's real important to me too, right? And I'm glad my mom gave me that attention when she said that. I heard her say that. I was like, yeah, no matter what I'm going through, I still joke and laugh, no matter what. So that was real important that I recognized of myself. But look, when you believe in happiness possible, anything, right? And you make these, you naturally start to make better choices. This starts to show you something about you. You get um, this superpower of yourself. Look, even if you, and I just said this, you go through some times in life, right? Hard times, you still can find a way to be happy. I know sometimes it's hard, but just a little bit counts, especially for the mood. Because look, life will always have struggles. With the right mindset, setbacks become lessons. So every setback is a lesson, and with that lesson gets a great lead to you being happy because you you did something about it. You didn't let it hold you back, and you learned the lesson. And that's a start to that's something to smile about, right? And that's why many successful people say mindset is more important than criticism, right? Or just circumstances that we deal with sometimes. That the hard times, the circumstances can hold us back. If you, in your own affirmation, just say life is over with, that's the way life is going to keep going because the mindset can keep you stuck there. It's also energies that attract, right? Your energies, what you speak, will attract towards you, right? It's like a magnet. You're bringing all of this towards you. Your mindset doesn't just affect you, it influences others, people around you, right? So I noticed that my spirit of myself, I I bring joy no matter what. I bring joy. See, I know that power of myself. I bring joy. So I know that I'm here for a reason, right? I'm here for a reason in life. And I'm not just here for myself, but I'm also here for myself because I see the effect, right? The effect that I have on folks, right? And I have good effects on people. I try. I really try, right? We all try. It's important to try, right? And it influences others, right? If your energy is full of gratitude, peace, and joy, you can attract more people, right? Can you can attract more of the same people, right? You can attract more of the same people around you, and that makes the atmosphere much clearer, right? For it to be. I was uh I was telling someone and I said this the other day. I said, look, you need to surround yourself with better people. It's real important that you need to do that. Trust me. Because what can these people do for you right now? Right? Now, I wasn't putting them down. I was just saying that they're not leading you nowhere because their lives are not leading them nowhere. So I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying if we're going to be around each other, let's make sure we're helping each other, right? What is the purpose, right? And if it's negative purposes, maybe that's not the right atmosphere to be around, right? It's just real important to, um, and you don't have to be around a lot of people, you know. Um, you could have your parents, you could have your family, right? So this is how you, because look, if my mindset go around people the negative way, and look, we go through things, right? Sometimes we don't be in a good mood, and sometimes these moods may wash off on people or someone's senses. Now, I like when people sense something wrong and they can kind of feel the energy and they're able to be there for you still without asking what's wrong, right? And understanding, right? Because, you know, enlightening the mood is good, right? Because that still give you clarity with thinking. And then sometimes you can come around and may want to conversate, Because sometimes when we're not in a good mood, we don't seem to think right and we don't tend to say the right things, right? It's real important to say the right things. Someone, an older guy, did ask me one time, and I mentioned this before, but it's real important that I share it again. He said, what do you think we could do to help the youth?" And I said, "Well, for me, within my life, what I've learned is that you have to listen and hear them out and choose better words. Your words are so important, right? Choosing better words, because if I be angry to the youth, they're gonna be angry back, right? So that was another part of me understanding that words are important, you know, to people. It's the mood. They could be going through a lack of feeling happy. So I feel like words are important. Anything that's small that can lead to a day of happiness is a day of hope, right? When life feels dim, right? When it feels dim and you get a bit of a smile, there's light, right? And there's hope. Okay, guys, that conclude the show. I hope that really helps. Like, share, and subscribe. It's real important, right? Like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, the Tell the World podcast apparel shop. Check it out. I got merch over there, and hopefully it's something over there you see and you like. That concludes the podcast called Tell the World. You heard it first.